Hello, and thank you for your support of the Mayerson JCC Jewish and Israeli Film Festival. My name is Wen Garfinkel, and I am the manager of Arts and Culture. Welcome to the virtual post-film discussion for Always Together and the short film War Before Bedtime with the Cincinnati Chaverim Israel, Uri and Yarden, and Louisville Shinshinim, Rona and Yael, moderated by high school senior Lily Plum Gartenlaub. A couple small pieces of business. Please complete our very short film survey that will be shared via email tomorrow. Also, at the end of the festival, after the last film on February 26th, you will receive a more in-depth survey via email. If completed within 1 week, you will be entered into a drawing to win a $50 gift card. These surveys are very important to the film committee and to the JCC for our planning and financial support of the festival. Thank you to our film festival sponsors, our presenting sponsor, the Rockburn Charitable Foundation, LKC Foundation in memory of Lucille K. Carruthers, Marcy and Nathan Backrack, Evelyn and Mark Fisher, Suzette and Michael Fisher, Amy and Ian Gutman, Paul Heldman and Debbie Kirschner, Katz Teller, Dr. Mark Mandel Brown, Diane and J. David Rosenberg, Jen and John Stein, and all of our sponsors at every level listed in our program and on our website. And thank you to all of our partners, including this film's presenting partner, the Jewish Federation of Cincinnati, Cincy Journeys. Thank you to Christine Katzman and Allison Romer, who manage the service programs in their respective cities, for helping arrange tonight's post-film discussion. I would now like to invite Christine from Cincy Journeys to share a few words.
Shalom. My name is Christine Katzman, Senior Engagement Manager at the Jewish Federation of Cincinnati. I manage Cincy Journeys, a non-needs-based grant program for Jewish Cincinnati youth to experience overnight Jewish camp and Jewish immersive travel. I also oversee the Chaverim Israel Teen Emissary Program, working with Yarden and Uri, and I support community-wide teen engagement. My work involves facilitating connections between Cincinnati and Israel, as well as among teens. That's why the Jewish Federation of Cincinnati and Cincy Journeys are particularly proud to support tonight's feature film, Always Together, which showcases the resilience of teenagers following October 7th in Israel, and the talkback session afterward. Thank you to Lily, Uri, Yarden, Rona, and Yael for sharing your insights about the film and about teen life in Israel and locally. And thank you to Win Garfunkel and the Mayerson JCC for choosing this important film in this year's festival. I hope everyone, especially teens, feel inspired by the movie to create positive changes, to cherish friendships, and to live life to the fullest. May we stand always together, even in the darkest times. Thank you for viewing the film tonight and the talkback discussion.
Thank you, Christine. I'm now going to read some short bios for our speakers, and then I will pass it over to Lily. So Lily Gartenlaub is a high school senior at Seven Hills High School and a Jewish Women's Archive Rising Voices Fellow. She is a song leader at Valley Temple and serves as director of her school's Equity and Inclusion Council, where she works to build a more inclusive school community. She is excited to sharpen her journalistic skills and deepen her connection to the Jewish community through moderating this talkback. Uri and Yarden are Cincinnati's Chaverim Israel, friends from Israel. They are in Cincinnati on a year of service and share their experiences throughout the Cincinnati community. Uri grew up on a 54-year-old family farm between Kiryat Shmona and Sfat, with only 14 residents, where he tends animals and orchards. Uri just finished Emek Hafula High School, where he majored in chemistry and physics. While in Israel, Yarden lives in Netanya and nearby Even Yehuda. She studied at a high school in Kibbutz Shefaim, where she majored in biology and Jewish philosophy. Her leadership has roots in the Dillard Teen Fellows Program and in the Haihud Hahakli youth movement, which she will potentially tell us about and pronounce correctly, certainly. Apologies for that. Where she took on roles ranging from creating content to camp logistics, learning how to plan, lead, and listen. Rona and Yael are Louisville Shinshinim, completing their year of service. Rona is 18 years old and is from Kibbutz Lehavot Haviva. She is a horseback rider who is also interested in theater and cinema. Yael is also 18 years old from Kadima Tzoran. Yael is a singer who loves music and theater. They are both proud to represent Israel and share their love for their country with the Jewish community in Louisville. I will now pass it over to Lily, who will be moderating this evening's conversation. In just one moment, I will spotlight everyone. Great. If you want to get started, I will work on the spotlights and yeah.
Sounds great. Well, hello, I'm Lily, a local Jewish Cincinnati teen, and thank you all so much for tuning into this talk back. And a huge thank you to Rona, Uri, Yael, and Yarden for taking the time to talk with us. We really appreciate it. So I just want to start off by talking about our initial feelings with the film. I have to say that something really struck me was how far these teens would go to fight for a sense of community and how I might have taken for granted how accessible my support system was to me. And I'd just love to hear your initial thoughts and feelings on the film. And as you answer, could you also talk about yourself, your connection to Israel, especially post October 7th? How about we start with Yarden?
Thank you. So I'm Yarden. I'm one of the Cincinnati Chaverim Israel. This film made me feel a very mixed emotions. It made me feel very connected also to the teens because we went through a similar situation. For me, it was less extreme. Of course, I was not as close to the border, but it made me feel connected, what they were talking about, the sense that we need to be together in order to get through this together. I feel very connected to my country, so seeing everyone trying to make the most out of it is very meaningful to me, and it really is inspiring to see that they didn't give up even when they were separated.
Rona, what about you? Do you have any thoughts you'd like to share?
Hi, I'm Rona. I'm the Louisville Shinshinit with Yael. Um, the film made me feel like I should not be taking my home for granted. Like sometimes you have a home and it's so obvious, but it's not so obvious, and people's homes got taken away and they needed to move, and it made me feel um, so blessed with having my home and my family all safe. And yeah, just this knowing that not everything, like that I shouldn't take anything for granted, and that I should always remember that this is the most important thing, like my family and my home. And also, it was amazing to see how hard they fought, and it was really a hard situation to actually build that school for them to be together. And they succeeded in doing that because it was so important to them. So it made me feel also hopeful that, like, to know that we have the power to do things that are important to us.
Yeah, that last note of hope in the film was really a lovely sentiment to end on. I'm glad you brought that up, Rona. What about you, Uri?
So after watching the film, I was kind of in a state of shock. I had mixed emotion. How to explain, but the film itself was very relatable. I live on the other border of Israel, so also my school was kind of not existing, and we had to separate to five different schools, and you didn't see each other, and it was kind of shocking to see that like it happened on both borders, but one was a bit more extreme, and it made me like be thankful for what I had and how it turned out and how we've been, and it was very emotional.
Yeah, thank you, Uri. That's a really interesting parallel experience. And what about you, Yael?
Hi, so I'm Yael. I'm one of the Louisville Shinshiniyot, and this movie made me feel a lot of things. One of them was sadness because it's hard to watch everything they went through. But I think what I left this movie with is hopeful. I was hopeful for our future in our country, for Israel's future, to know that now we have these teens that did this amazing thing and fought for themselves. And I know that these teens hopefully became our leaders in our country. So I see the future, a bright future ahead of us.
Yes, I love thinking about how this film applies to the future. That's beautiful. Now I want to recenter a little bit to Cincinnati. And now I'd love to hear why you all chose to take a year of service, which is a big decision. So how about we go reverse order? So Yael, I'm back to you.
So I knew all my life that I want to do a year of service, and I heard about this year of service when I was young because my uncle works in Jaffe. And through the years, I met a lot of people that went to this year of service, and they told me a lot about it. And it always sounded to me as something that I would want to do myself. But I think that after October 7th, and with everything that happened, I realized that it's more important than ever, seeing everything that happens in the world and all these people talking against Israel. And when I know the true story, and when I know that I can show Israel in the way that I see it and in the way that I experience it, I think that's the biggest reason why I decided to come and do this year of service.
Uri, what about you?
So 2 years ago, I was in a summer camp in Nova Scotia, and I met a lot of people who came to camp after finishing the year of service, and they told me about it. And then, like, the idea of doing a year of service suddenly came to me. I did not think about it before. And I started searching it and getting into it, and slowly meeting a lot of people who have done it and just learning about the experience. And I thought it will be a great opportunity to bring Israel through through my eyes and how I see it, and like I can teach them about my experience in Israel. And after October 7th, which it just like became okay, this is like the most important time to reach Jews abroad and like bigger communities and talk about it.
Yeah, definitely. I think the sentiment that you said too, Yael, I think now more than ever, we really need to hear your voices in the Jewish community. They're so valued and necessary. And what about you, Rona?
So I also knew that I wanted to do a year of service like from a young age. I didn't know what I would do because there's a lot of opportunities to do it in Israel also. But yeah, I feel like I wanted to do this one for a long time. But after October 7th, I think that seeing everything that's going on like online and not being able to say something like that could be a video with so many comments on it and no one to say the truth about it. It made me feel like it makes you like really want to say something, and I feel like doing my part of going to these Jewish communities and making kids and teens feel connected to Israel from where I see it, that it's not all what you see on news and a lot of things are fake and the truth needs to be told. So I think the best way to do it is make people like see it how I see it through this like personal connections, um, and get more people be positive about Israel and be willing to stand for Israel even if they don't live there is really important.
Yeah, it's a crazy time right now fighting truth is in social media. So I'm glad you brought that up. And then Yarden, let's finish with you.
So I also knew that I wanted to do a gap year. I didn't know which one, but as the years went, and I also lived in Canada when I was younger, so I'm familiar with the Jewish life abroad. So it kind of rolled into this one, and it kind of felt like the right place for me. And of course, giving back to my country was a very big priority for me. And if I can do this, like stop after high school to volunteer, then I really wanted to do that. But also, I feel like this gap year is what I wanted to do because after October 7th, I've seen the Jews around the world being there for us and supporting us, and I'm not taking it for granted. So this is something I wanted also to give back to the Jewish community abroad. We have each other, and while being here, I learned a lot about how much support we get and how much I feel the need to bring back to the Jewish community.
Beautiful note to end on. Well, thank you all so much for sharing your experiences and also giving a year to support the communities in Cincinnati and Louisville. That really is very impressionable. So let's talk a little bit now about community, a big theme within the film. So these teens long to regain a sense of community and normalcy after October 7th. Do you have a community close to your heart you either have or would fight to keep together? Let's start with Yael.
So I'm from a small village called Soran, and in Soran, because it's such a small place, most of the people know each other, so I'm very close with all the people that are in my grade. And we also have a youth movement called Hatnua Chadasha that I'm part of. I joined the youth movement when I was in third grade, so I've been there for 10 years, so it's a really big part of my life. And through the years, there was a lot of difficulties in the youth movement. It was more of budget things, and in one of the years, we almost lost our youth movement, and they wanted to separate us and move us to different youth movements. But because it was so important to us to stay together, and because we were there from third grade together, we fought for it, and we were able to get money, and we have this youth movement until these days. And I think belonging to this community taught me so many things. I know I would fight for them in any situation. And yes.
That's a lovely story, Yael. Thank you for sharing. And what about Yuri? Do you have one?
So, like I said, my school was also divided to five different schools, and the community I'm going to fight for is the friends who were with me in my grade. We had to really fight for it, like in the film, it's about the same process. We had to fight for it, and we started as five different our school divided into five different schools, and then we fought and we turned it down to three schools, and we mixed them together and we kept fighting until March of 2025 when we finally like got to see the whole grade together for the first time in the wall, which was very emotional. And then it was just like trying to rebuild what we lost for. So this is the community I'd fight for. It's the friendship that was made during that time and all that. It was just like something special that is hard to explain.
That really is crazy how similar of an experience you had to the teens in the film. I'm glad you're here to talk about it. So, speaking of the teens in the film, in our previous conversation, you mentioned that you know some of the students featured in the film. Could you talk about your connections to them and possibly give us an update on how the teens in Israel are doing now? Let's start with Yael.
So I met the teens from the film last year. In our school, they also showed us the film, and one of the teachers actually knew the teens, so he invited them to our school to answer our questions about the film. And we got to know them a little bit more and ask them questions. And one of the teens in the field, Shachal, he opened a new year of service last year in Israel that helped the community of Eshkol, which is where the teens are from, recover from October 7th. So there were 20 kids, I think, in this year of service. They were all from Eshkol, but they wanted this year to bring people from other communities in Israel to help recover the community. So Shahal came to our school and he was trying to engage people into this year of service. And I have three kids from my grade that are my friends that are now in this year of service. So they are very close with these kids from the film. I actually tried to reach out to some of them, and I think most of them are in the army right now. So it was a little bit hard to get information from them, but I know they are all still working on sharing their story, and they're doing a great job.
It's so great to hear that the message of the film was spread through service. That's such a unique experience, yeah. And what about you, Yarden?
Yeah, so in Israel, it's very special because we're such a small country. All the teens, not all of them, but a lot of teens know each other from all over Israel. So it's very nice that we got to know some of the people that are in the film. Um, I talked to Omer, which was in the film, and unfortunately, he couldn't write anything to us because he is in the army and there's not a lot of phone time. But he just wanted to say that he's very glad that the movie reached other communities around the world and not only in Israel. So he was very happy and thankful of that. But I also reached out to Talia Goldberg. I met her during her service year, and she left us a little update, a little letter. So I'm going to read that. Um, October 7th caught us while we were still in 12th grade, just before we graduate, with more question marks than answers. From that day, something broke and was rebuilt simultaneously. Nothing felt taken for granted. We got to the boarding school a few months after October 7th. In all the mess, the loss of our class friend, the uncertainty, and the news that doesn't stop going around, we found ourselves together in a new place. It wasn't an ordinary beginning. We were a group of kids that just experienced a traumatic event with emotional baggage and fears. Step by step, something was created there. Shared life, some routine, moments of laughter alongside heavy silence. Late night talks and understanding that we are all in the same situation. Trying to hold on to a routine while the reality is bothering in the background. Finishing 12th grade together was tough. We wanted to move forward, each one to our own path. But we knew us being together was not obvious. For us, the boarding school became a lot more than just a place to sleep. It was a place we could stop, breathe, support, and be there for each other. Today, we are all in different places. Some of us are in the IDF, in boot camp, courses, different roles. Everyone is giving their part wherever they are. Most of us decided to do a service year, or mechina in Israel, giving back 1 year of our lives to the country that put them in the situation. The life after October 7th is less naive, and we have more awareness now, but also with a deeper connection, more responsibility, and the realization of how much power a group that gets through something like that has. Maybe that's the thing that we will take from that time. Not only graduating or memories from Engedi, but the knowledge that even after something falls apart, together we can build something that will last.
Jordan, thank you so much for sharing that letter. That was so unique that we got an even deeper glimpse into the movie. That was really great. Thank you. So I have one more question for you all. So throughout the film, hope is a powerful force that unites these grades and keeps teens motivated in this intense strife. What are you hopeful for in the future, either in your own lives or on a larger scale? Let's start with Rona.
So for me, like when I saw the film, I saw that, and also like after October 7th, like straight that day or the day after, almost everyone I knew got engaged and went volunteering, making like food and cakes and buying stuff for soldiers or for people who got hurt. And everyone was really like united in this difficult time. So it really made me hopeful. It made me connect more to my country, to realize how strong our community is. And no matter where you're from, at the end of the day, when something like this happens, you will help anyone that you see, no matter if you're the same or different. And it made me hopeful, and like seeing everything since then and knowing that we will stand together and we proved it makes me really hopeful about the future of Israel. And also seeing those teens in the film and seeing like experience other teen organization that happened since just showed how much power the teens have and the younger generation has, and if those are the people that are going to lead our country and like do important things and make Israel stronger. So I have no doubt it will work, and I have no doubt that our future will be better. So I'm very hopeful and excited about seeing all those things happen, and how we will all work together towards peace and having our quiet and happy country.
Yeah, seeing people engage like that, I'm sure was really powerful, especially in your own younger generation. And Yuri, what about you?
So something that I would hope for the future on a larger scale would be peace. I would love for peace to Israel, for like to be in a country where kids can grow up without worrying too much and you could travel freely and everything would be just like perfect and how you would like to imagine the perfect life. And after October 7th, like we in Israel, when we have like something that is scary for us, a situation that we need to help each other. You can really see, like Ilona said, people coming together, which is amazing. And I think this hope might be true, like it can be if we try hard enough.
Peace. What a lovely note to end on, Yuri. And that's all I have for you all. I just want to say again, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me and share some really personal experiences. This was a really interesting conversation.
Thank you so much to Lily for moderating this meaningful conversation, and we are so grateful to be able to uplift the voices of our Cincinnati Chaverim, Uri and Yarden, and the Louisville Shinshinim, Rona and Yael. So thank you so much for contributing your experiences, thoughts, and ideas to this discussion. Your voices as the younger generation and next generation of change makers are so important. Thanks again to our presenting partner, the Jewish Federation of Cincinnati, Cincy Journeys, and to everyone who joined us virtually to view this discussion. We look forward to seeing you at the rest of the 2026 Mayerson JCC Jewish and Israeli Film Festival. Thank you. Bye-bye.